What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am extremely excited to introduce you guys to our 24th car in our car sharing fleet.
A 2008 Lexus ES350. That's right, you heard me correct, 2008, but we'll explain in a second.
Now, this was sort of an impromptu buy. HP and I have been looking for a Lexus for quite a while, and we stumbled upon this one because a business owner within the business park that we park our cars in, he actually had this parked outside of his business. He was selling it, and he gave us an offer that we just simply couldn't refuse.
I want to buy your car, or at least look at it.
There you go, buddy.
The key right away? No questions asked?
No, I got other cars. I mean, all the cars will be damaged. If you damage my car,
Fair. You're exactly.
all 6, 7 of them, whatever,
They'll all be damaged too.
Go buy me
Now, before we dig into how much we paid for the car and our plans for this vehicle, let's give you the tour. Now, starting off, this is like Lexus's creme de la creme mid-size vehicle. Some people call it a fancy Camry because this technically is built on the same chassis as the Toyota Camry was back in 2007. It is a little bit worse for wear, like the headlights, the clear coat is peeling off of them pretty gnarly. It does have a bit of missing paint here and there, but for a 2008, not only is this thing loaded with a bunch of features you can find on a modern day vehicle, it's a Lexus. Let's take a look at the inside. Now, fancy Lexuses come with a lot of stuff from the factory, like heated and cooled seats for both the driver and the passenger side, all leather interior with a leather wrap shift knob and even wood grain on the steering wheel. You know I'd be gripping. Now, you have memory seating on both the driver and the passenger side. Now, that's kind of unheard of because most vehicles just have it on the driver, but the passengers even have a good memory setting as well that you can do right here on the door. Now, everything in this vehicle is pretty good condition. It's a 2008 and it's what you'd expect. Some pretty good wear and tear on the steering wheel and some of the high traffic areas, but overall everything is pretty complete. No rips and tears and no major dings on the inside. Of course, it's power everything in this thing. It does actually have a push to start system with a keyless entry door button on the outside, so you never really even have to take the key out of your pocket. This is by far one of the most loaded vehicles that we have in our fleet to date, including things like navigation and, believe it or not, CD player with a cassette tape deck.
Honestly, the fact that this car has push to start is probably the most shocking feature. I didn't even know that push to start was a thing in 2008, and this key is surprisingly modern. Like, I would say that this key looks like more modern than like a 2014 like Audi key. Or
you know, they use actually this key in both Toyotas and Lexuses like up until 2018. I think they are still using
it's a nice key even today. It's a nice key even in 2023. But that is extremely surprising to me, and just a lot of the features that this car has are nicer than some of the cars that you see today in 2023, so I can't even imagine how high-tech this car was back in 2008.
And another weird cool feature is that this is luxury. Look at this soft open glove box right here. You can put all your things in there, the auxiliary, you even have another power point, and then you can just close it just like that. And the back seat has a bunch of room. Now, this is a very luxurious Camry, I might add. Leather on everything. I mean, look at that. This is just so comfy back here. And I don't think this has actually really ever been sat back here.
It's pretty like, big too. Like, look how much leg room you have.
Yeah, so much room for activities. What's in here? I don't know.
All in all, the interior of this car I think is absolutely flawless considering the fact that it is an older car. You know that whoever owned this car before us took great care of it because this thing is in great shape.
And like, there's so much room back here. It is incredible. It's actually really comfy.
I really didn't know where you went.
Just exploring. But this is the coolest part about Lexuses. They give you a little first aid kit, which surprisingly this vehicle still has. And another cool feature is it comes with Lexus tools, and this is something I really like. You have things like little wrenches in case you want to work on your Lexus. You have all the tire equipment back here. Look, even Lexus pliers. And they've never been used, surprisingly. It's a Lexus. Now, on the outside of the vehicle, like I said, the front is a little worse for wear with the headlights and some of the missing paint, but the sides and the wheels, everything is actually in really good condition. Really no cracks on the windshield. There's no major body damage on this, and at 153,000 miles, that's right, 153, This car is in really good shape mechanically. Really only needs things like headlights are going to be replaced, a new engine air filter, and some tire alignment, as well as a couple of tires. But other than that, it's great. Oh, and brakes.
Now, like HP mentioned, this car is a 2008. It has 153,000 miles. It is, of course, a clean titled vehicle, but because of the fact that it is older and has higher mileage, this car does not qualify for Turo, but it does qualify for Get Around, and that is exactly where we're going to be listing this car.
Now, the shop owner was actually sitting on this car for a few months. He had it outside of his shop, and I saw a lot of people coming to come take a look at it, drive it, test drive it, kick the tires a couple times, and he had no luck selling this vehicle. And I actually offered to help him sell this vehicle. I tried to connect him with a few people that I thought might be interested, but they all said it was too high of a price. Now, whenever I brought it up to Aubrey, she thought about maybe we could flip it, and I thought that would actually be a pretty good idea. And then we realized we could put this car on Get Around. So that's what we're gonna do.
Now, this is actually the perfect car, and though we weren't necessarily looking for this year, make, and model Lexus, we have been looking for a Lexus for quite a long time, because I think that something like a Lexus will do extremely well on Get Around or Turo because of the fact that our Mercedes does extremely well. Our 2009 Mercedes-Benz C300 has been listed on Turo for almost 2 years now, and it's consistently our top performer month after month. But given the fact that our Hyundai Elantra GT, which is our only car listed on Get Around, actually was our best performing car last month in January, we thought that it would be the perfect time to add an additional car to that fleet, and then this Lexus came strolling along and it seemed like the perfect fit.
Now, the KBB value for this vehicle is actually $9,500, and the owner was trying to sell it for $8,500 and slowly started coming down on the price and couldn't find anyone to buy it. Finally, he said, I'm willing to let it go for $6,500. I'm tired of dealing with it. And I said, that's a deal.
Now, I do think that in comparison to all of our other cars in our fleet, this car probably does have a little bit more of a risk associated with it, at least when it comes to income potential, because of the fact that this is a nicer car and Get Around is targeted more towards like those gig workers, ADV drivers. They definitely aren't targeting luxury vehicle renters as much. I do think that there is a risk that this car may not perform as well as we hope on Get Around. There is also the fact that this car is actually only eligible for Uber Eats for 1 more year. Uber Eats, like drivers and people working in the gig economy, has been a huge source for our renters on Get Around with our 2015 Hyundai Elantra GT. So there is a little bit of concern, at least for HP and I, that whenever this car is no longer eligible for Uber and Uber Eats, it won't perform as well on Get Around. So we'll definitely have to wait and see. Our thought process is that if it doesn't perform well on Get Around, HP can always fix what's wrong with it. We can sell it and then we can make a profit that way because of the fact that we bought it for such a below market value price. Now, with Get Around, the process of getting your car listed is a little bit different than Turo. We did go through this process before with their Hyundai, but how it works is you actually have to onboard your car on Get Around. Then from there, the car has to get an inspection. This is especially true if you have an older car like this one. And then after the car passes an inspection, you actually have to go get a Get Around Connect device installed. And this includes a, what's it called? An ignition kill switch type of thing.
Immobilizer.
An immobilizer, a like remote unlock and lock feature, and a GPS tracker. So we're in the process of getting the inspection done on this car as soon as HP's done fixing some of the issues, and we expect that it will be listed on Get Around probably by the end of March, maybe in a best case scenario by mid-March, but it will take a few weeks.
What do y'all think? Do you think we're wasting our time with this car? Should we even list it on Get Around? It's a 2008 with 153,000 miles. It can only be on Uber Eats for 1 year. Think when we even make any profit? Let us know in the comments down below, and let us know if we should maybe even just consider selling it and flipping it while we're ahead. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you in the next episode.